stockpile limit set by the 2015 nuclear deal under the former Obama administration. Here's Secretary of State Mike Pompeo on that.
The United States is considering a full range of options. We've briefed the president a couple of times. We'll continue to keep him updated.
Does that include a military response?
Of course. Of course, the president will consider everything we need to do to make sure, right? But what the president said, we don't want Iran to get a nuclear weapon. The previous administration put them on a pathway that virtually guaranteed that they could get there. So we withdrew from the ridiculous JCPOA and are moving ourselves towards a set of policies which will convince Iran to behave simply like a normal nation.
Joining us now, Daniel Hoffman, former CIA chief of station and Fox News contributor. Daniel, great to see you as always. So what do you make of today's announcement by Iran? It says it's going to break the limit for its low-grade uranium stockpile allowed in the Obama administration nuclear deal. What's your take on Iran's threat as tensions rise with the U.S.?
Well, it's a real threat, and this is a gradual escalation that Iran has implemented. Viewers will recall that back in early May, Iran threatened to enrich uranium to weapons-grade levels in 60 days if they didn't receive some relief from the maximum sanctions that we've implemented and has caused such harm to Iran's economy. They also threatened Europe to stop collaborating on stemming the flow of migrants and drugs to Europe from the Middle East. And then we've seen the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps launching kinetic attacks in the Persian Gulf with not-so-plausible deniability. An Iranian proxy militia launching a rocket at our embassy in Baghdad, and then this latest, as you noted, the Iran threatening to, or now stockpiling low-grade uranium in violation of the nuclear deal.
And history will tell you Iran only responds to strength. And strength in numbers, strength in military action is needed, according to Mike Pompeo, who says that the president would back that. Do you believe that military action is needed?
Well, I agree with the Secretary. I think that Iran wants to induce Europe and the United States to return to the deal to negotiate on Iran's terms, and we're, of course, not interested in doing that. It was a flawed deal, and the administration withdrew from it. I think that the administration, as Secretary Pompeo hinted at, is dealing with a flexible response based on the nature of Iran's attacks. If there were a direct and serious attack on the United States, Iran knows that that might mean regime suicide for them. We've got the USS Abraham Lincoln and B-52 bombers in the region. If there's something smaller, then we might respond with something less serious than that.
General Jack Keane, he joins us earlier in the show. He said that basically military action would not lead to war. So a lot of people, when they hear military action, they think, wow, are we going to be striking in Iran? And if we did, that would indeed turn into a war. But listen to what he said earlier in the show to contradict that.
People will be critics of any military action saying that's leading to war. That is not leading to war. The Iranians do not want war with the United States, Bill, because that will end their regime. They are willing, however, to escalate militarily to get us to shut down, to get us to back off. And we've got to have enough resolve to stand up to that, much as Ronald Reagan did in the late 1980s.
He says that Iran doesn't want war with the United States. The United States does not want war as well with Iran, but they are going to step up the game because these war games that are being played by Iran, the United States isn't going to go for that.
Yeah, neither country wants a full-scale war, but what the United States wants is to deter Iran from a miscalculation that might lead to that. And so we're being very clear that if Iran does attack us in the region or beyond, that we will respond. And ultimately, that is how we ensure that Iran doesn't make the sort of move that would lead to an all-out war. That's what deterrence is all about. It's a credible threat from the United States. And I think, as General David Petraeus has noted multiple times, that this Iranian regime should not take this administration lightly. They mean what they say.
All right. Daniel Hoffman, great to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Want to get to Melissa Francis hanging out. Outnumbered's coming up shortly. How you doing?